Yo, what is good? My goodness, what a crazy ending to a wild snow cap game. All the games this weekend have been wild. If you're a Raiders fan, it's got to be heartbreaking to sit here and, you know, watch these teams compete in the playoffs year in and year out. But damn, some pretty good games, minus the, Kansas City Chiefs game where the refs were involved way too much, as always. These games were just absolutely crazy. Shout out to Philadelphia, the Los Angeles Rams. I thought they were going to come back and pull it out. Crazy games. The Lions and the Commanders, we'll talk about that. Just another wild game. Also, one game still coming up on the list is none other than the Bills Ravens MVP battle. Who do you got? We will find out very soon. I think it's a close race. I think whoever, can pull out this game has to be the MVP, right? Whoever goes home. Unless the quarterback has a bad day and their running back helps them win the game or defense. It depends, but it's going to be another crazy cold game. I'm not sure if it's going to be snow like the last one, but man, it has been absolutely wild. So I have not been on for a minute. What's good? What's good? Yeah, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts are just unstoppable duo, man. Like, especially in these snow games when it comes down to the snow in the cold, when you gotta just depend on your running back. Running backs are a high commodity in the NFL again, and I think it's going to be a crazy year in this offseason for the running backs. I think they're finally going to get their due, and they're going to get paid. There's offensive linemen making more than running backs, which is, I mean, they do block for them, but they're not carrying the ball every single time, getting just smacked around. So I think the running backs are finally going to get their due, and I think a lot of owners, coaches, and teams are going to realize that, man, when it comes down to crunch time, you got to have a back in the NFL. And I got no fucking sound. Jesus Christ. Hopes we get sound, huh? Fuck my life. Usually, right? I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking. There's no sound, no fucking. Jeez, what's good? What's good? Salute. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Man, what a crazy game. Wild ending, right? Can y'all hear me now? Thumbs up. Can anybody hear me? Oh my God, dude. Crazy shit. Sweet. My shit wasn't even plugged in. Man, what a crazy weekend, right? Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts in the snow, unstoppable duo. As a Raider fan, bro, it hurts to sit here and watch these playoff games. But damn, the competitiveness, minus the Kansas City Chiefs game where the refs were involved just way too much. As always, it's been some pretty damn good games. And I think Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, the running backs in this league, I can't think of dude's name for the Rams, have really showed that you have to have a running back in the NFL. Like, you could have running back by committee to give guys breaks. You could have a 1-2 punch like the Detroit Lions, but you have to have at least a 1-2 punch like the Detroit Lions or a running back, a top running back in this league. And man, there are so many coming up in this NFL draft. I can't wait to get our hands on one. But what do you think about these games? Like I said, that Kansas City again pulls one out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Raider Ryan, appreciate you pulling up. Who else is in there? Little Smith, what's good? What's good? Yeah, just the refs in Kansas City. I thought, Houston with their running game, another 100-yard rushing game. Their defense is solid. Their quarterback is good. They just weren't better than Kansas City's defense, and Kansas City's defense proved why they are still the best in the NFL, pretty much in every category. Except, they did give up 100 yards rushing, but it just, it wasn't enough. The refs, again, with the the stupid calls. We've seen the Detroit Lions, who some can say lost the game. It was a big turnover in the game, right? A turnover. They end up getting a touchdown out of it. No penalty called on Jared Goff. But then you get Patrick Mahomes, who got a way lesser helmet-to-helmet hit, flopped, got the penalty, got the first down. They ended up scoring a touchdown, I believe, 2 plays later. The NFL has to do something about this. You have to do something quick. Like, it is very, very bad for these guys to be involved in the outcomes of the game by stupid plays and then not call it fair on both sides. You can't call it one way and then not call it on the other. I think, that was a huge turning point in the Lions and Commanders game. Dude got smacked in the mouth after the ball was thrown. That should be a penalty. In any other play, that's a penalty. So, what y'all got to say up in here? Billy D, what's good? What's good? Unfazed in the building. What's good? What's good? The kickers never have an issue. KC rolls on them all of a sudden. One makes a kick. Scripted, obvious. Right? What's good? What's good? So, yeah, appreciate y'all pulling up. Man, the games this weekend, besides that Kansas City game, have been crazy good. The Commanders pull it off. Jaden Daniels woulda, coulda, shoulda been a Raider. All the talks coming out before the game. Tom Telesco never made the call. Will we ever know? I don't know. Hondo Carpenter says one thing. Other reporters say another thing. Washington reporters also, if you follow them, just because I had to find out what's going on, also say a different scenario. So, man, we will never know. I don't know why it's even a conversation at this point. We didn't get him. They're not going to trade for him. And I don't know why we keep living in the past as Raider fans. Like, move on. Yes, he's a damn good player. He's going to be a damn good player for many, many years to come. But there's not shit we could do about it, right? They weren't trading the guy whether he made the call or not. Unless maybe you said, hey, I'll give you Devontae Adams, Colton Miller, and 3 first-round picks. That might have been a call that they checked out and listened to or said, all right, well, let's talk about this. But, however, it didn't work. There are also conversations. Ben Johnson, the Sam Howell thing, wanted Sam Howell over Jaden Daniels. I don't know how much of that is true or not, but some people say it has value. So that's another scenario. Ben Johnson, what do y'all think about the game? Do you think Ben Johnson, was his play calling good enough? Do you think he's still head coach material? And the biggest question of all, and I'm going to say it before I even start, no, hell no. Do you think that this man is worth being paid the highest coach, in the history of the NFL they're talking? And we'll get to the other scenario here in a minute about, the T word, and no, not tanking, but the other T word. For one, there can't be any contract negotiations. It says in the rules, if you go back and read them, no contract. So for people to put numbers out there is making the Raiders look bad, and it's going to make the NFL wonder what the hell is going on and have to investigate, right? That's just my opinion. If people keep talking about it and it keeps coming out, I don't know why people that are supposed to be beat writers or reporters for the Raiders would put out information that would hurt the Raiders if they heard that there was a contract discussed or talked about. But the numbers they're throwing out are absolutely wild, bro. 6 years, 15 million. I mean, that's insane, bro. That's more than Andy Reid gets paid. That's more than Belichick got paid. What do y'all think? If that was the numbers, do you still want Ben Johnson? I gotta know, because for me, I'm like, hell no, dude. That's crazy. We've made some stupid choices as an organization, as a franchise, but that would be I mean, damn. What else? What else? What you got? Unfazed, just working, man. Cool, cool. Billy D back to work. Appreciate it. Nice, nice. 12-hour days. Damn, pigs. What's good? Salute you. Caruso, appreciate you. What's good? What's good? What y'all doing on this weekend? Y'all watching football? Let me know in the comments. Are y'all watching these games? Can you not watch the games? If I was a Lions fan, I'd be pissed. Right? I mean, I hear you. I'd be pissed too. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're mad because the penalty. I'm sure they're mad because of the coach and shit. Like, I mean, why is your quarterback, if you're the Lions, how is your quarterback any lesser than Patrick Mahomes because he don't have Super Bowl rings? Like, I don't know. For them to not get calls is crazy bullshit. But that's good, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up in the building. How's life treating you? Agreed. Liam Cohen develops forgotten quarterbacks. Ben can't fix Goff. He's just okay. I mean, he did have a game where he had 5 interceptions and they come back and won. But you also have to look at that running game. You have two of the best running backs in the NFL, and one, in my opinion, is the best all around back in the NFL. And Gibbs. Gibbs is just absolutely insane, bro. The man is devastating every time he touches the ball. And if he's not touching the ball, he's damn good at blocking. He's good at catching out of the backfield. This man is crazy good. So when you have weapons like that, yeah, it makes it easier to come back. Granted, they don't have the best defense in the NFL, and I think Amik Robinson losing Amik really, really hurt them as much as it hurt us as a Raiders, as a Raiders fan. And if you're not a Raiders fan, then not us, but as much as it hurt the Raiders, right? I think losing Amik was a big, big, big blow to the Raiders, as much as losing Josh Jacobs. And we've seen how much it hurt the Lions. In my opinion, it hurt them a lot. Um, beat writers work for themselves first. Don't trust them. I know they work for themselves, but I'm saying when you're the Raiders beat writer, like I'm not gonna say names, but certain people say, "Oh, I'll put this out after the season because I wouldn't want to jeopardize the Raiders or put out anything that would hurt them." It's bullshit because they put out shit that's gonna, jeopardize the franchise all the time, bro. Yeah, hit that like button. Appreciate y'all. Beat writers are paid to suck. Oh, yeah, let's put that up there as a pin comment. What's good? What's good? So, man, on the other hand, be honest. Did anybody have Jaden Daniels and the Commanders beating the Detroit Lions like they did? Show a thumbs up, thumbs down. Be honest. Don't lie. Because I'm going to say hell no. Like, I really thought the Commanders had a chance of winning, but I didn't think it was going to be like that. I didn't think their defense would play like that. I didn't think, good Lord, Jaden Daniels is him, bro. That kid is scary good. New England Booster, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Billy D, go back to work in the morning. Congrats, my guy. Good to hear. Good to hear. But yeah, you know, the Commanders' run game, and then the threat of Jaden Daniels and the precision passing under pressure, bro. That kid is crazy good under the blitz. Which, if you studied him coming out of college in the draft last year, that was one of the knocks on him, and that was one of my knocks on him was under pressure. He had a horrible quarterback rating, and I said if they could fix that, the kid was going to be crazy good. I didn't think it was going to be that good. Like, and they for them to fix it, I don't know if it's a credit to the quarterback coach, the trainers, Kingsbury himself. I don't know the little vision thing he puts on, every day before practice, and plays his games where they throw every defense crazy at him. I think that helps a lot. But man, this kid is just a freak of nature with the ball in his hands, and he could very, very well end up having the Washington Commanders in the Super Bowl. And I know that sounds crazy, but look at the Rams. Look at the Rams defense and how good they played against the Eagles. I think I think the Commanders defense stopping the run is very, very solid. and and they put so many points on the board every time they score. With the threat of these guys going for it on 4th and 2 every single time, or 4th and 1, 4th and 4, like they don't care. They didn't punt the ball, I don't think, one time. They went for it on 4th down, and no, they didn't get it every time, but they stuck with it and they weren't scared to stick with it. They have faith in their quarterback, and bro, that's just scary for the rest of the league. For It's going to be scary for them for a long time. I'm glad he's not in our division, man. Um, you don't think Goff was your problem last night? I mean, 3 interceptions. What do you think, it was Ben Johnson's play calling? Let me know. Be honest. I mean, if Goff wasn't the problem, then who was? I know their defense gave up, I mean, a crazy, crazy amount of points in the first half and in the second half. So, yeah, that didn't help. I'm not saying it was all Goff, but when you have a defense and when you have an offense playing like the Washington Commanders offense was playing, and then you turn the ball over 3 times, like that's not going to help your team. It's not going to help your team. You had the Skins winning the game. I had them winning too, but I didn't have them winning like by that much, bro. I didn't have them like they straight up dominated. I thought it was going to be a lot closer. I knew it was going to be a shootout. What the hell? Cat chasing a dog. Um, I just lost whatever comment I was going to put up. They don't know how to lose yet. And I felt all the head coaching talk around the Lions was a distraction. I mean, that's a huge distraction, is when you have your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator taking head coaching jobs, and then he comes out in a press conference and they keep pushing buttons, and the man was like, I'm focused on the Commanders, which is hard to be focused on the Commanders when you have the biggest opportunity of your life ahead of you. I mean, to me, it would be hard to focus on the task at hand, and I don't know why they, kind of have that rule. I don't think if they're in the playoff game, they should really be interviewed until after the playoff game. I think it's a distraction. It hurts the team. It hurts the morale, especially when you're in a press conference and guys are poking, and he's like, "It went great. Like it went great. That's all I'm gonna say. It went great, but I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to focus at the task in hand." But like I said, it's just too much. Too much. Where did I leave off? Benz Johnson for sure, and the defense. I mean, would you be saying it was Ben Johnson was the problem if he wasn't doing interviews for head coaching jobs? Or are you saying that's the problem? Because I thought he called a pretty good game. I thought, the trick play for the interception. Oh, Goff only had 2 interceptions, right? My bad. Um, but the trick play for the interception, I thought at the point in time was uncalled for. I like the little sneaky trick play with the pitch to St. Brown from the running back. I thought that was pretty slick. You don't see that much. Even Tom Brady commented on it. Um, but other than that, I thought he played I thought he coached a pretty decent game. It wasn't great. I don't know if it's head coaching material. Like that's a I've been saying that this whole time. Like if you're going all in, go all in. But I mean, damn, the pick towards the end was desperation throws. Yeah, I get that. But when you have a guy like Gibbs, what he put up 170 something yards by himself and you lose the game? I mean, that's crazy. The defense didn't help. And like I said, I thought Amik Robinson made a big difference. Like that guy you can put on one guy. He's not a shutdown corner, but if he makes mistakes, he makes up for them. And, he's the spark plug. He was the spark plug for our defense. And it seems like he was the spark plugs for the Lions. I went to the Lions versus the Giants game in '07. Wait, during the rough era for the Lions, LOL. Campbell and AP in that game as linebackers. Damn, that would have been good ass game to watch. It's funny that they're compared all the time too, which I don't know why. Calvin Johnson's rookie year, man, that dude was a beast. Good lord. Are we trading Max Crosby and Hooker and hella picks? Why would oh we get hella picks? I'm gonna say, but man, it doesn't sound good for Max. The talks to me sounds like he doesn't want to be here anymore. Really, it's like he's fed up. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I've been wrong before. It sounds to me like the man is fed up with having a new coach, like he said. The organization, the losing, the mindset of losing. And I don't really think it's about the money. I think it's more about winning. He wants to be on a team where he can have a chance to win. And, you know, are we going to give him that? I don't know. But is he going to stick around to find out? I don't know. But if he's not, then now's the time to trade him. Don't wait around, a year or two and then be like, okay, it's not going to work. You know, if he does have more injuries or something happens, it all depends, man. It all depends on who the coach is going to be. And I'm just not sold on Ben Johnson being that guy. If you listen to Brady, the way he was talking, I think there's more interviews coming. I think a lot of more interviews are coming. I think now that the Rams have lost, there might be a couple of guys in there that I talked about. I don't know if they're head coaching material. They're not calling plays, so I don't know how that's going to work. But I thought the Rams defensive coordinator was, been pretty damn solid this year. They're still talking to other GMs. So I don't know. Crosby's up in the air. It's definitely, it sounds to me like he really, really, really is dead set on these negotiations. And he keeps talking about, how great they're going to be. And I just don't know how great they're going to be. Like, maybe for his side, but I don't know, bro. I don't know. I never liked his play calls anyways. Risky. Damn. Whatever though, all of a sudden everyone is rooting for him for us to be taking a bunch of shit. What? Not that we're saying that though. The Eagles fans. Oh, what? Um, no Meek, no Dubs. I mean, yeah, the boys. I mean, the man is him. People question his size, and you should never question a man's heart because the dude, like I said, if any player in the league I've ever seen make a mistake, I've never seen somebody, come back within the next 2 or 3 plays and make a big play. Like Amik was that dude. But the Lions, their defense, they they got they got injuries. They got injuries, and it's crazy that their defense gets worked like that. Ben Johnson's offense gets outplayed like that. After you're 15-2, you're the best team in the NFC, pretty much, or you are the best team in the NFC, and then you get worked on defense, you get worked on offense, and both of those guys are up for head coaching jobs with, no head coaching experience. Or at least Ben Johnson, no head coaching experience. And he's only been the OC for 2 years. And I've been saying I think people are quick to jump on this bandwagon a little too early. I've seen tweets on X saying that if you don't want Ben Johnson as the Raider coach because of that game, then you're an idiot. Which, come on, bro, really? That's crazy shit. If there's a time to trade Max this year, the talent on the D line in this draft is massive, and the talent that we have already on the D line is massive. I mean, Kaylavon Chasen played his ass off. Let's be honest. That man was in the backfield making plays time after time. And, even if he wasn't getting the tackles or the breakups, he was still putting pressure on, rerouting running backs. Um, Jonah Lalu, another kid that was just dominating out there when he got in the backfield, stopping the run, chasing guys sideline to sideline as a big defensive lineman. So yeah, and we can go Abdul Carter in the draft. You could go. I mean, God, the list goes on and on. For I don't know what we need the most of it. Like that's another big thing is Max Crosby going to be here or not? And if you're going to trade him, you got to do it quick. You got to do it really, really quick, right? And how fast can we do it? Like, is Ben Johnson going to jump on board? Everybody's saying, oh, he'll be hired by Monday. I think they have 3 days. I do believe by the rules, after a team loses, they have 3 days before they can contact them again. And they probably want to do an in-person interview this time and not an interview over the phone. I don't think they're just going to pick up the phone and say, all right, that Zoom call was enough for us to pay this guy more money than any coach in the history of the NFL. To me, that's wild. And I don't see Tom Brady or the owners, because there's 3 owners now, I do believe, that I just read, and Tom Brady. So there's 4 minority owners involved with Mark Davis making these decisions. It's not just Tom Brady. And that's not even counting Richard Seymour. They didn't even mention Richard Seymour. So how many people do own this team, bro? This is crazy. Like, absolutely wild. Y'all got an amazing stadium. My prediction is next year 8 and 9. Man, I hope we're better than 8 and 9 next year. I hope they go get their quarterback in this draft. If it is Shador and they believe that's the guy of the future, then go get him. If you don't believe that's the guy, and you think it's somebody else like a Jackson Dart, like a Riley Leonard, and who knows? Maybe Tom Brady and these guys have another quarterback in mind, or maybe they have somebody they like that's a backup on somebody else's team. We have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Like I said, with the reports that Ben Johnson was liking Sam Howell, what's the chances that Sam Howell gets traded to the Raiders? I mean, we've done crazier shit before, right? We are the Raiders. So if the reports are true, and I'm not saying they are, just as a if the reports are true, and the man BJ did really want, not a BJ, but did really want Sam Howell. I'm not saying over Jaden Daniels, but really wanted Sam Howell to be his guy to go with. I mean, he's sitting as a backup somewhere. He could easily bring him in wherever he goes. Now, if he goes to Chicago, you're probably not bringing in Sam Howell unless you bring him in as a backup and he beats out Caleb Williams. I don't see that happening. That kid had a pretty solid good year. The record doesn't show it, but his numbers for a rookie were damn good numbers. Please don't get annoyed. What? If we go, he goes, we still go. We still got plenty of talent. Oh, I mean, right? Nobody's bigger than a Shield. Nobody's bigger than a Shield. Hyping up, paying Johnson whatever he wants type deal. What else I miss? Oh, Hondo hyping up the Lion, right? He is from Michigan. I mean, damn. Why didn't I think of that until just now? Fuck. Hondo hyping up the Lions fan makes sense. I think he has many connections to them, right? Many, many connections. And damn, I didn't even think about that. You like Dylan Gabriel in the draft? Explain why. Why do you like Dylan Gabriel? Is it because the number of snaps? Is it because his team was undefeated? I mean, let me know because I'm not a big fan. Please don't get A Rod. Oh my goodness, that's another thing. Talks about Aaron Rodgers. Like, why would you want to bring in Aaron Rodgers at his age? He probably doesn't even want to play. If he does play, I'm going to be very, very shocked if he comes back for another year. But maybe he does come back just for one more year to, rub it in the Jets' face and show, hey, I still can play. But man, I don't know. I don't see that unless he comes, comes on on a cheap deal, which I don't see happening as a backup. Yeah, I don't. A Rod's not in the question, and that's crazy. I don't even know. I think people just run out of things to talk about. But the Raiders have brought in so-called washed up. I'm not gonna call them washed up, but guys that were so-called, at the end of their career that nobody wanted. Jeff Hostetler, Rich Gannon, like Jim Plunkett. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I don't even want to say the rest of the names of the guys we brought in because some of them annoyed the shit out of me at those picks. Chef, my guy was good. Appreciate you pulling up. Um, I think he could prove. Nah, put this up so everybody else can read it as well. I think he could prove he could be a good quarterback in the future. Maybe not immediately, but in the future. I mean, yeah, if you sit for a year or two, like a Jordan Love, but Jordan Love sat for 3 years behind a Aaron Rodgers. He's seen a damn good quarterback play a lot of football. He watched a lot of football. He was on the bench, holding a clipboard for a lot of football. And then he has one pretty good season, makes it to the playoffs, and they throw a boatload of money. And in my opinion, he didn't play very good in that playoff game. And if he would have played, a little bit better, I thought they would have had a better chance to win that game. But it's crazy how teams just, after a year or two are willing to throw bags after guys just because they can make a couple plays or they have, a big team around them. And then you got guys like, our quarterback, AOC, that sits on the bench that can throw a pretty accurate ball, can make damn plays. I mean, not much worse than Jared Goff. Like, if you look at his record, no, we don't have the running game or the offensive line, and he sure don't have 15 seconds to stand back there and throw the ball. Cam Ward or Sanders, I'm not. I think one of them's going to fall to 6, and I think it might be Shador. And might call me crazy, and I might be crazy, but I really think Shador could fall to 5 or 6. Now, if he does, then I don't see Tom Brady and the Raiders passing on him if he's there. I don't see us moving up. I hope. I really hope not. I mean, if we move up, it is the biggest mistake this organization has ever made. And I said this last year. If you're going to move up, last year was the time. There was 6 quarterbacks on the board. You could have got any one of those quarterbacks and been fine for the next 5, 10, 15 years probably. I'm pretty sure they're all going to pan out and they're all going to be decent quarterbacks in the NFL. They might not all be elite like Jaden Daniels, but come on, Bo Nix was pretty damn good. If just didn't have, the right team around him. I don't think had a way better defense, but just not the player that Jaden Daniels is, and nobody's the player Jaden Daniels is. So, I mean, what are you doing, Cat? Jesus. So yeah, I'm not sold on either one of those guys. Like, I think they both still need work. I think Shador is not mobile enough, and I think that's where the league is going. Is you have to be able to make plays, you know, like a Lamar Jackson, like even Matthew Stafford still, will run the ball at least to pick up first downs, and I think you got to have that. I'm not saying Shador won't because he will, but he prefers not to run. He doesn't have the strongest arm. His accuracy is very good, and I don't know how he'll do in the NFL. I don't know. It's a big guess with a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. Cam Ward, same thing. The man takes a lot of chances. He's a little bit more mobile, a little bit more athletic, but he stands in the pocket too long. He holds the ball too long. They both do. So, can those things be fixed? Yeah, but if you're drafted in the first round, no, because you're thrown into a fire. Like, unless you have a quarterback, where you could sit 5 games into the season or through half the season and then get thrown into the fire. But if you're picked number one in the NFL, you're pretty much starting. There's no way around it. Even sixth, if you're picked in the top 10, you should be starting. The only reason uh Michael Penix wasn't starting is because they paid a quarterback $140 million before they signed him or drafted him. But what do y'all think about these games? Who you think in the Eagles game and the Commanders? Who you think is going to come out on top? You think Saquon Barkley is going to be the key point? As always, Jalen Hurts looked like he got a little banged up, right? Looked like he was hobbling a little bit. They said he was fine, but he didn't look like he was running the ball like he was in the first half. That could be another issue. Raf in the building was good. Y'all go check out his channel, Captain Rav. Rooting for Jaden Daniels to keep it going. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm not. I mean, still a little salty that we didn't get him. Especially if they didn't even make the call, because there were guys on our team. Like I said, Devontae Adams at the time just came off 2,000-yard seasons, like 1,200 yards or something, right, the year before, and then 1,000 yards with 3 different quarterbacks and Aiden O'Connell. I mean, his value was up there. That could have been a possibility with that, and a couple picks and a couple players. We had some decent players that we could have thrown in the mix, but if they didn't make the call, then yeah, I'm a little salty. But my best friend, sorry man, I'm bad. Damn throat. I've been sick for the last couple of days. Why I ain't been on? But my best friend that just passed away, like shit was damn, it's almost been 2 years. Was a diehard Washington Commanders fan, Washington Redskins fan. So yeah, I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels. I got the Raiders, so I don't root for any other team. But yeah, I want to see that kid. Show Mark Davis that, bro, sometimes you have to take a chance. And I don't know if it was Tom Telesco. Everybody knows Coupon Tom does not trade up. That might be a reason why he doesn't have a job no more. But we all know how AP felt about Jaden Daniels and how the nation felt about him. And that was a match made in heaven. I don't think it would have worked with Getsu, but who knows? With Jaden Daniels, I think anything could have worked in any system as good as that kid has been lately. So it sucks. And it sucks that, we have another pick in the top 10 and there's no quarterbacks. And man, just the failures. I hate to keep looking in the past, but the failures. And we could very well end up with Aiden O'Connell one more year just because he's under a rookie contract, and maybe they don't want to go, pay crazy, outrageous prices for a free agent that we could have got a 6th-round pick like a Justin Fields that's going to be a free agent. But he's going to want way more than what he signed for $4 million or something with the Steelers. He's going to want way more money than that. Russell Wilson, as you can see, as the season wore down, so did Russell Wilson. And I thought the Steelers would have probably been wise to put Justin Fields in a little bit more, on a couple more plays and save Russell Wilson for the playoffs. I don't think, the difference between a 6th-round pick and a 4th-round pick really shouldn't be the difference between your making it to the playoffs and losing in the playoffs. And I thought Justin Fields should have been way more involved when they got in the playoffs. Just my opinion. Just his dynamic ability to run the ball. Good Lord. But somebody's going to pick him up. Somebody's going to pay him. And they're going to be very, very disappointed. And the owner of that franchise is going to be very disappointed that they didn't go pull the string last year and pick him up for the price, a 6th-round pick. Absolutely crazy. And then you got, on the other hand, like I said, Russell Wilson that signed for the league minimum, 1.4 million or something, takes his team to the playoffs with one, star receiver, not a great tight end. The O-line's okay, probably a top 15, maybe a top 10 running back. I don't even know if Najee's a top 10 at this point with Bijan Robinson and these guys. Oh my goodness. What else we got? I'm not convinced in the Eagles. They find ways to win, but the Commanders are damn good and could easily beat them. And also, you got to think that the Commanders have 2 head coaches, right? Like, they have 2 head coaches running the show. They have the head coach, and then they have Kingsbury, who should have been our offense coordinator, but took a way better job, and I don't blame him whatsoever getting a chance to coach Jaden Daniels. But we all know his history. The man was a head coach with the Cardinals. So you don't just have, one coach over there. You have 2 head coaches running a team. And I think that is the difference between the Washington Commanders and, a lot of teams. And I've heard people say, certain reporters, certain content creators say, if we get Ben Johnson, the Raiders could turn it around just like the Washington Commanders. I don't believe that's going to happen. Ben Johnson has never been a head coach. He's never been in charge of a whole entire organization or a franchise like that. That's a lot of pressure. It's going to take time. Also, who's he going to bring in? And you don't have 2 head coaches running your offense and running the show like the Washington Commanders. So, shout out to Adam Peters, who changed his mind. Reports are, right? He backed out of bringing in Ben Johnson. And that's why Cliff Kingsbury decided to leave the Raiders and go to the Washington Commanders, because he had already said he was taking the Raiders' job. Kingsbury was in Detroit. Adam Peters was going on a plane there and supposedly turned it around mid-flight. I don't know how true that is, but those are the rumors. Is they didn't go with him as head coach. They went with a different head coach, the one they got now, and Kingsbury decided to go to the Washington Commanders. So kind of ironic that Ben Johnson could end up being the Las Vegas Raider coach after all that. No trade up to 3, maybe trade back up into the bottom of the first with a quarterback. No trade up to 3. Don't trade up to 3. Yeah, I don't want to trade these. None of these quarterbacks are worth trading up for, but I would trade back into the first round to grab a Riley Leonard, a Jackson Dart. Um, I mean, Milrow, I don't know, bro. That one concerns me just because I think he's a project. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the experience Jackson Dart has, or Riley Leonard, or any of these guys coming out of college. Definitely doesn't have the experience that Shador Sanders has. And I think he sat what 2 years. He sat as the backup for 2 years behind Bryce Young in Alabama, and I think that hurt his stock. And I really thought he was going to stay in school this year, and you know, at least get that time in as a quarterback because a lot of these coaches and a lot of these owners and GMs they want guys that are like a Bo Nix or a Dylan Gabriel that have over 2,000 snaps or whatever in college, been there 6 years, and are NFL ready because they have the experience and they've seen different defenses, everything you can throw at them. So I would definitely be willing to trade back up, but we also have what I think the fourth pick in the second round. I do believe somewhere in there. So we have a top pick in the second round, and then we have what are we pick 40, right? So sixth or some shit. I don't know. But so sixth in the second round, sixth in the first round, and then we have a pretty high pick in the third round. So two third round picks, you could definitely maneuver two of those are a third and a five, a third and a six, maybe to move back up into the later rounds with some of these teams, maybe like a Detroit, that's going to be picking in later rounds and get your quarterback that way. But we still have to, like I said, wait until everything's done, like the Senior Bowl, the Shrine Bowl, and the Combine, because people say Combine doesn't mean anything, but to me it means a lot. You know, you're talking to a lot of people. You got to get to know these guys, know their character. They have a lot of meetings with these guys, like, but we don't know none of that shit. But still, like athletic ability, your arm, your accuracy when they're throwing, whether it's pressure in their face or not, it's still you get to see their strengths, especially when when you're in the Senior Bowl with a bunch of guys that are all in the combine. So it's the best of the best, the one percenters. That's what I want to see is when those guys, shine or perform like Dylan, like a Riley Leonard with Notre Dame, who's got his, helped got his team once again another victory and in the finals against Ohio State. And we'll bring that up here in a bit. But dude, I think that's gonna be a crazy game. Tony Angel, what's good? Appreciate you. I think we stay at number 6 and see who falls to us, listening to offers, take the best player or trade down. We could do I wouldn't mind staying at 6, but if if a quarterback is on the board, which like I said, I have a very, very strong feeling that the first 4 or 5 players aren't going to be quarterbacks. Like maybe the first one. The Giants might take a quarterback. Tennessee, I don't see why they would take a quarterback. You already took Will Levis in the second round. Give him time to grow. I don't know if they're willing to move away from him, but bring him a veteran in to help him in camp. And I think they could go that route, or they could go a totally different route. But build that offensive line, or get a receiver like a T Mac, Terrell McMillan. I think would definitely would definitely help a guy like Will Levis over there in Tennessee. Um, I mean, they could also go corner and Will Johnson. I mean, you can go Travis Hunter. There's so many options, and there's so many guys that teams have needs before quarterback. You know what I mean? Like some of these guys still have quarterbacks or don't know, if their guy's their guy or not. Might need another year, like a Will Levis. shit, like we do, like with Aiden O'Connell. I mean, we don't know. So I see a possibility where there's a quarterback sitting there at 6, and it could be Shador. And like I said, if he's there at 6, I just don't see us passing on him. But if that's the case, then I mean, move back up, still move back up, take best player available because I think no matter what, and it's shown in these playoffs and it's shown all year long, is you have to have a top running back in this league. And yes, there's probably about 10 or 15 that are going to start, day one for teams, at least 10. So with second round picks, third round picks, we can build this team. But that's why I'm not doing no mock drafts yet, is because we got to know who the coach is. Which way are we going to go? You know, a Ben Johnson might feel confident in taking a quarterback that's already, been groomed by somebody else, like Jared Goff was. He was already in other systems, right? Sean McVay's system, like he was a pretty damn good quarterback. So maybe Ben Johnson doesn't want a rookie quarterback. Maybe he wants to go with a veteran and go that route. 7-on-7, Lamar just threw a pick. That's not good. um, T Mac is 6. Chicks want guys with experience also. That's what they tell me. I don't know if I'd take T Mac at 6, man. His something about I don't know, something about him just scares me a little bit. Like I'm not I know he's dominant. I know he's dominant in college, but something about it just scares the heck out of me. That's such bullshit. Damn. I needed AJ Brown to have one more catch for $2,500. That sucks. Damn it. Well, that sucked. But yeah, I don't know. Receiver in the first round. Last time we took a receiver in the first round, I do believe it was at number 6, and it was Tim Brown. So I mean, if we could create that kind of magic, yeah. But I think we need. I mean, I like his size. I don't know what his 40 time is, but we need somebody that has speed that can catch. And I know, we have Trey Tucker, but I don't know if they just don't have faith in him. He don't have faith, but he just hasn't been the guy. I think his size hurts him. But there are guys like AJ Brown, that do the same thing, just don't get the ball thrown their way. I think there's a possibility of some trades. I think there's a lot of receivers on some teams that are not happy right now, like Brown. They say Tyree Hill is fine, but we don't know. Like um the rookie receiver over there in Pittsburgh right now. So I don't know. I don't know if I draft a receiver in the first round. I think that's kind of scary. I think the biggest needs right now is still we have questions is of course quarterback, running back, offensive line. Um Furpo, my guy, was good. Any break stop by Raiders. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. So yeah, I mean that's biggest needs. Biggest needs for sure. Quarterback. Could we get away with, a bridge quarterback for another year? Yes, that's possible if we draft a guy that needs to sit, for a year or two. And I think that could be a very big possibility. But even drafting a quarterback, if you go get a Shador, are we trade up to get Cam Ward, or Cam Ward just happens to fall to us at number 6? you still got to be able to protect that guy. And I don't think with the guards we have that, and Colton Miller is a question. Our offensive line isn't solid enough to draft. And I think that's why we didn't draft a quarterback last year, or why we didn't, pursue a quarterback as much or try to get a quarterback, is because our O line, it's just not ready. It's going to take time. And now it's going to take even more time because now you're bringing in a whole new system with a whole new guy. And, hopefully JPJ fits in these systems. Hopefully DJ Glaze fits in this new system. Those are all questions we're going to have to answer. So, I mean, there's so many needs in this draft. It is tough for a wide receiver to translate to the NFL than a running back. Um, to me, I would say yeah, because you see so many different coverages. As a running back, you're pretty much, here's the gap, hit the A gap, B gap. You know, you got to be able, of course, to have vision and make your cuts, but and you got to read defensive too, because the running back, he's back there, helping the quarterback out, calling plays if he sees them. But yeah, receiver, one on one, you see so many different disguised looks and disguised coverages. It's hard to adapt and adjust, but you know, when you have the size that man has, like what is he, 6'6" or something? I mean, that's crazy. So he's definitely going to be a star in this league. I just don't know how willing the Raiders are to take a chance at 6, just because we have other needs. And I'm not, I mean, wide receiver is definitely a need. We need that number one guy. I know Jacoby Myers, we all say he's a number one receiver, but if you get, a pretty equal number two, or, a guy that's dependable to go to, that wouldn't be bad. But I still think we need, that number one guy. Go out and trade for somebody, or, like I said, somebody over there in Philadelphia sitting on the bench reading books might want to go somewhere where they're going to throw him the ball. Like, I don't know. They just run the ball like crazy in Philadelphia, and that dude's just wasting away. Got to get a stud guard in free agency. Yes, yes. If we could get a JPJ in free agency, or I like what the Philadelphia is it Philadelphia? Yeah, I like what the Philadelphia Eagles did. They went and drafted a guy in the 7th round. Isn't that where we got Munford? I do believe in the 7th round. That's 6'7", 320 pounds, was a tackle, and they moved him to guard in training camp just to see if it would work. And that dude is killing it. You've seen him just moving bodies completely out of the way in the run game, and that's why Saquon Barkley has had the year he's had, because they have a 320 plus pound 6'7" guard over there with the wingspan of like 3 people. And dude, that guy's just a beast. And you just run Saquon behind him every time, and then you got a tackle that's just as big right next to him. I mean, yeah, that's what we need to do. I think DJ Glaze would be not better at guard than tackle, but I think DJ Glaze athleticism and his get off, the way he moves and his technique, could be a guy that we could keep Munford over there at right tackle and move DJ Glaze to right guard next to him. Those two would be a nasty duo, in my opinion. But the way Munford played down the stretch, even when we tried to go, 7 running back or 7 offensive linemen, 6 offensive linemen, 7 offensive linemen, that he just wasn't all there. So hopefully this new regime, can revamp this offensive line and get these guys wanting to play, because we have solid guys. I thought, again, Meredith played a solid ass year, but yeah, if we could draft another Jackson Powers Johnson, that would be a kicker, especially in the 2nd round. And I don't know. I don't think there's going to be any guards in the second round, but like I said, I haven't got too far on that. I got to do more homework and shit, but I'm gonna get off here, man. It's been an hour. I'm gonna jump on, watch this game, and I will come back and talk about that one later on. So I appreciate y'all pulling up as always for sure. Much love, Raiders. Peace.